Hello everyone, it's Nick here, and this is a review of IKari Warriors on the ZX Spectrum 48K, published by Elite Systems in 1988 and based on the arcade cabinet by SNK from 2 years earlier in 1986. It's a run and gun, heavily influenced by the Rambo films, if you're familiar with those, and very similar to the game Commando, which had a lot of clones to it, and on the Amiga to a lesser extent, Dogs of War. A game also come out on the Acorn, Commodore 64, Amstrad CPC, the NES, Atari systems, the Atari ST as well, Amiga, and lots of other things as well. A very popular game this, a lot of people regard it as a classic. It can go on keyboard or the joystick, and it's for 1 or 2 players. It's a lot easier with 2 players, but I'm going to attempt it on 1. And if I don't get very far, we'll redo it with a cheat mode on, so I have infinite lives to at least show you a bit of the game. It did have a sequel to it called Victory Road. I haven't played that one yet, but probably will do. So as you can see, hold the fire button down to do grenades, so exactly the same as Commando in that respect. And the conversion of Commando from the arcades was done by Elite Systems also, at least on the ZX Spectrum. Here we go. Now, I don't know how long the stages or levels are. I think they go on forever, but we'll see how far I get on this one. Now, those full stops are bullets, and sometimes it gets a bit hard to avoid them. There's power-ups to pick up every now and again, which is just like reloading your grenades. Whoops, and I'm dead. And he does a Michael Jackson spin, much like in Commando when he dies. So he but looks very much like Rambo, so I can see why they was influenced by the Rambo films. If you haven't seen those films before, Rambo, you must be quite young, but the body count on those is quite amazing. There's probably a video on YouTube. You type in Rambo body count, it probably gives you all of them. But it just gets worse from film to film, starring Sylvester Stallone. The character does look very similar to that in Dogs of War, which is also inspired by Rambo, so that makes sense. How am I doing? Well, you see my lives represented by those red icons. I've only got 1 life left. I'll hide behind this big cheese ball. But once again, in the art of battle, we're really outnumbered. It's just him versus, well, everyone. And the game's over, so we'll try again on with a cheat mode activated here. Infinite lives. Now, the idea of this game is to reach the village of IKari for some reason. It sounds Japanese. Here we go. But I desperately need a second player here to deflect the enemy. It's not using too much of the screen, but, you know, with the ZX Spectrum, I would expect that to a certain degree, and Commando was no different. Early impressions, my favourite is Commando out of the 2, but it's only because the nostalgia glasses are on again, and I owned that one the most and know how that plays. Be interested to see how Victory Road plays compared to this one as well, a bit later down the line, which we probably come to in about a month or so, as that building gets completely splatted. The environment does change in this game. I think there's rivers to cross, bridges, and army barracks to go through as well, but at the moment we're in some sort of desert, just approaching that sort of thing. The village of IKari is a long way away. If you printed out all these screens and put them in a row, I don't know how long it would be. Quite long, I guess. Probably 1 kilometre. Did you own this game back in the day? A lot of people have it in their top 10s as their favourite game. I'm still getting used to it, so I can't quite see that at the moment. There's a bomb there, don't go over that, Nick. Graphics are well thought out, the sound is good, the animation is great for the era. A lot moving on screen, it isn't too quick. It is pretty difficult. I'd say it is more difficult than Commando. I love that explosion graphic, that's pretty cool. There's no, the game never pauses to reload other stuff, so that's useful. Unlike a Space Gun, which we looked at a little while ago, I had to edit that out. So we were going all the way through here. Yeah, another criticism really, when you die, on a lot of games you've got a few seconds of immunity. Here you can get shot twice in a row and lose a couple of lives really quickly. Colour bleed, well, the characters does change colour when you're going over that green bridge, as we can see, and probably change when we go in the rivers. You'll see a little blur going across the water. That's the enemy hiding under the water. We bash into them, we're dead as well. Look at those two guys. Didn't even flinch when I blew that building up. Right, we've got a dangerous bridge here. Soon they're going to get wind. This guy doesn't die, keeps living forever, and maybe say, well, do you want to join us? Fair play. Boop. Right, over some weird suspension bridge here. Oh, I haven't got the skills for this. My man's turned into the Incredible Hulk now. It's getting a bit hard to see this. Maybe the bridge should have been white, but maybe that's just to match the arcade colours. I never played this in the arcades. I never come across it as a cabinet there. Did you play it? Is it similar? I think it had rotating joysticks, I think, on it, or maybe guns. Let me know. It's a classic top-down formula. Do check out my review of Commando if you get a chance to compare it. But that was some of from the early days. At time of recording, I'm doing a revisited series where I'm having another look at some of the older games I did when my sound wasn't quite as good. So I'll probably be doing Commando as well as a part of that. Well done, Elite Systems. They were competent programmers. They put out some good games. Good conversions. I mean, with conversions on a home computer, especially 8-bit, it's always going to be tricky. You're never going to capture the whole essence of the arcade. So you're trying to create something a bit new also. And they've done good. They've done good here. It's a well put together game. Sound is, well, it's a bit high pitched, but it fits with the genre okay. What does that say? In. Do I have to get on that? I-N. No, that's just, I don't know what that means. I-N. No. Answers on a postcard. What does that mean? Right. I don't know how far we'll go in this one. I don't know how far we'll go at all. Hopefully we'll get to the end of stage 1, but I think these stages go on forever. A bit like Swiv. Oh look, there's 2 people sunbathing there, or in the water. Oh, it's army guys. I thought they was mermaids first of all. They turned around, they've got guns. It's good work if you can get it. Can't go under the bridge, you just onto the bridge and then into the water. So there's no depth to this at all. It's just a flat graphic. Cool, look at those things. Henry Hoovers with guns on the front. How many people we killed so far? Not as many as in the Rambo films, I guess. Boo! Now, I think some of these characters, I think it's, I can't remember their names, Ralph and Clark perhaps, they do turn up, I think one of them turns up in the King of Fighters beat-em-up games, which I reviewed on the Game Boy Advance. Right, how do we get through here? Some sort of army barracks. I'm not sure if we have some ender-level bosses every now and again. Blam! We need to break a way through here. I think a bomb to the middle might do it. Yeah, we need to take out this middle bit. Hooray! Right, just power through here. There's another one! This game is well difficult. Anyone that's completed this without the cheat mode on, in one player, well, I don't know how you've done that. You must be an absolute genius. Let me know if you're one of those people. Commando's a bit kinder. There's it's divided up into shorter levels. You feel you're actually getting somewhere. I think about 8 in total. I'm surprised Commando didn't have a sequel. There was rumours when I was in the school playground that there was going to be a sequel where it was like set in space, very similar. That would have been quite good. And curious enough, Victory Road, the sequel to IKari Warriors, which we're playing if you didn't know it is set in space. So maybe there was some confusion there. Kids could get confused quite a lot. Read something in a magazine, think, oh, that's Commando. No, it's not Commando. It's IKari Warriors. I'll probably be reviewing this as well on the Commodore Amiga at some stage, just to see how it compares 8-bit to 16-bit. You would have thought the 16-bit version is better than 8-bit, but it's not always the case, because these Spectrum games quite often were damn playable. Back in the time when they had to be playable, because the graphics, well, I say the graphics were lesser than now, but at the time they was top notch. Boom! I did like designing my own graphics back in the day. I mean, the ZX Spectrum is the only computer where I wrote simple programs, tried to make games. After that, the Amiga, there's just no access to do it unless you use some sort of Amos program with the Amiga. And then beyond that, PlayStation, forget it. I wouldn't know how to start making a PlayStation game. Have you made a PlayStation game? Are you a home brewer? Let me know. What did you use to do that? A PC, I presume, and some other utility. interesting. But Spectrum games, you could like sit down and have a chance of programming something. That's why I'm really interested with the Spectrum Next, which hopefully comes out as a Kickstarter, because that's going to be a big boost, and people are going to start writing games again, and it's going to get pretty awesome, I think. Hooray for 8-bit technology back to a simpler time. But in the meantime, let's blow up these 4 guys. I think they were the 4 tops or One Direction, but 2 of them are gone. There's only one direction for them, and it's to hell. Die! Yeah, they're a bit susceptible to a sideways attack. Now, don't... Right, there's a few enemies crossing here underwater. We can get round them. Right. It's a good graphic there. It does feel like he's splashing through the water. This is the one time he hasn't gone see-through, is it? He hasn't gone blue. So they've thought about the graphic in water, at least. Although his hair is a bit blue. Oh, who are these kamikaze underwater guys that also look like Rambo? Let's just wander through here. Man, they're certainly firing a lot at me, and they've killed me a million times. Just to put this into perspective, really, for modern day life, imagine you was playing paintball in the woods, and it was just you versus 8,000 people, and they had helicopters and they had tanks full of paint. You wouldn't stand a chance, would you? So, bearing that in mind, I think I'm doing quite well here. Is there any paintballing games? I doubt it. Ooh. So this is a big precursor to the Battlefield games, Battlefront, COD. So before COD, this was it. This was your top technology. Yeah. Call of Duty, IKari Warriors. Yes. Anyway, it is back in 1988, this one. So a long time ago, but not in a galaxy far, far away. It's our galaxy. I don't know how far we're going to go on this. How long have I been playing this so far? I just want to get to the end of the level, but as I suspected, it looks like it's going to go on and on and on till the game completes. Yeah. The sense of achievement is off at the moment with my infinite lives here. I would have got nowhere near so far. It is repeating itself a bit. I think we've seen this graphic before. Yeah. It seems to be done with a bit cut and paste. There hasn't been anything new for quite some time. Oh, this looks new. What are those white things? It looks a bit like the end of level on stage 2 of Commando. Get away, stupid tank. Yeah, is this the end? Please be the end. It does look very similar to the end of stage 2 on Commando. That is correct, Nicky. But it isn't ending, is it? It's going on and on and on and on, and these silly tanks going backward and forward. They look like radio controlled tanks. Some kids controlling it. Vertical scroller. I don't think it goes horizontal at all. Like Dogs of War went in different directions on the Commodore Amiga. Commando was just one direction. I prefer just going in one singular direction. Multi-direction shooters I don't think worked. Especially Amnios, I reviewed recently on the Commodore Amiga, which is like a sci-fi shooter. Very confusing. I'm dying every 4 seconds. I'm dying more quickly than Donald Trump tells lies. That's the exchangeover rate. Donald Trump tells a lie once every minute, doesn't he? I die once every 6 seconds. I'm sure Trump can catch up. I'm sure he's got practice. And they're just lies that have been detected. Right. Yeah, I was right. This stage is never going to end. It's just one big block forever. Oh, it's a bit of this again. Yeah. Kaboomer. Let's just wander through here. We're not going to complete this game. At some juncture, we'll just go to the side and stop. But I don't want to stop just before the game ends. That would be frustrating. I mean, we've been wandering through here for what, about almost 10 minutes? That's a very long stage. There is a pause button here, but you need a lot of stamina to go right through, and it's your eyes that has the most strain, looking for these like full-stop bullets against the yellow sand. That's not a complaint though, because they couldn't have done anything else. And it looks like we're coming up to another set of bridges, so the scenery is recycling a little bit. Ow. Take that. Oops, I haven't bombed the bridge. That bloke's gone to pieces under pressure. He's dead. Just fire straight up at them. They don't seem to be firing back. What does L mean? Oh. Ooh. A cat has 9 lives. This guy has about 99 lives. Right. It's good of these guys to just die and just disappear. Don't fall into the water or anything like that. Oh, a guy come up from behind. That's just cheating. Maybe they can bomb the bridge. Right, are we in the IKari village? No. More tanks. I think I've seen this before. I mean, it's a wonder of programming, this. I mean, it's a stylish game. It's a well put together game. Classic. I feel like I want to keep practicing without the cheat mode on, so I think it's got longevity. It's a good game. It's a good game. I don't think it would make my top 10, possibly because I didn't grow up with it. But yeah, you'd have to give this one a bit of respect. They knew what they was doing. Oh, so it's another one of these fortresses again. Full stop to death. That's you dead, right. Bomb the centre, and that should give us a path through. It does. A perfect square. We've got 48 grenades. We've got 68 grenades now. I don't know how he carries them all. It's a bit dangerous carrying 68 grenades, I would have thought. But there's one gone. Is this the end? 3 ins. Quite often with ZX Spectrum games, when the level changes, the colour of the background will alter. So instead of yellow, going over yellow, I'll be going over white or red or green or magenta. It stayed yellow the whole time. I mean, you're going to get a lot for your money if you'd bought this game back in the day. It's huge. Completing this is going to take more than a day. And also as well, don't forget, with the ZX Spectrum there was no save feature. So once you died, you couldn't save your progress, how far you got, and reload it. Unless there was a password system. And I don't think this one's got one. So you'd have to start right from the start. So you're either going to complete the game or you're not. That's it. And quite often when you was near completing the game, your mum called you for dinner. You couldn't leave. It has got a pause button, right? But if you pause the Spectrum and have dinner for half an hour and come back, if you had the rubber 48K one, it'll be burnt out by the time you got back, or at least extremely hot. There was no mechanical fans to cool it down. I don't know how more didn't blow up or start fires. I'm not going to weave through here, am I? Boo! Let's just pile through. Full stops firing of destiny. Right, I'm through. It's another one of these again. Oh, God. No, there's no ending. No. Brown. Even Rambo had an ending. But. Do you ever notice that Rambo? He looks a bit like Rocky Balboa. Well, you can work that one out for yourself, I think. I bet there'll be someone below who said, Rocky Balboa and Rambo play with the same person. Well, you haven't got the joke, sir. I get that in early. Right, alright, so we've gone to a bit of a white background now. Is this near the end? Yellow buildings, white background. I like contrasting colour, because it shows the... It's not easy to do on the Spectrum from a programming point of view without creating colour bleed. So those people that try and avoid it outside monotone, even if it turns out to complete haulicks, I respect the programmers for attempting it. Yeah, that... Right, I don't think we can go on much longer here. The level isn't going to end anytime soon. Although the colours changed, there's no end of level. Those tanks are back. God, they blew up their own house. What'd they do that for? Don't blow up your own house. That's good. That's a good tip for you. And I seem to be dying every 5 seconds now. I don't think Trump's going to catch up. Definitely need to do this in 2 players. Definitely 2 players have any chance to deflect it. But it's getting ridiculously difficult, and I don't think I can go on much longer here. Give me a break. Who's that guy? I can't shoot him. He's on the roof. Looks like we're going... Oh, it's a little bit of desert again. Hello. Goodbye. Grenade in the face. That was our whole relationship. 3 guys blocking the path. Not anymore. There's a lot of bloodshed going on. We're in some sort of corridor. Looks like we're entering a complex. We're not entering a complex. It was just some sort of bridge or tunnel. Man. Okay. Yeah. I think we'll call it a day there. I'll just stay down here. I hope you liked having a look at that. That was a lot longer than I was planning to do. It's IKari Warriors by Elite Systems 1988. Thanks for watching as always, and until next time, a very fond goodbye.
Goodbye.